Right, let's get into the details of the just concluded African Football Awards in Morocco. And we have joining us in studio Bernard Otieno, a veteran sports broadcaster. Bernard, welcome to the program. We saw at this just concluded award ceremony the two-time winner, Mohamed Salah of Liverpool, and the 2023 winner, Victor Osimhen, not even turning up for the awards. Does this maybe indicate a new shift of power in African football here?
There definitely has been a shift, and that shift has gone north a little bit more than it has gone west or east or even south, because having had it go to Morocco then makes Morocco a powerhouse that it's supposed to be in soccer at the moment. And if you look at what they have done in the last few years, including their performance at the World Cup in Qatar and their win of the CAF champions, the CHAN in Kenya, and also just the performance of their junior teams, they are right now in that process of churning out the best of players in Africa at the moment. So yes, there's a shift at the moment because of Morocco's performance in the world stage in literally all the categories of soccer. They're doing very well. Now they've become what Senegal was a couple of years back. So yes, there is a shift at the moment, and it's gone north and it's gone to Morocco.
All right, let's talk. We talked about the two runners-up, but let's talk about the winner. Hakimi is the first African defender to win this award in 52 years. He made the podium 3 times before actually taking home the first prize. What exactly made his season outstanding?
Well, there's everything that made Hakimi's. If you started the World Cup and you saw his performance at the World Cup, that was really a performance of the winner, and which pushed Morocco to be the best ranked team in Africa at that moment. But you have to look at it this way as well. He has won the Ligue 1 in France. He has won the European Champions League as well. He has won the Coupe de France, the Cup of France, which is the domestic cup as well. Plus, he has scored a phenomenal number of goals this season alone for Paris Saint-Germain. Now, you must remember that we're talking about a defender, and that is why he stands out in this particular win. If you were to simplify this win of his, then you'd have to put Mohamed Salah, you have to put Victor Osimhen as defenders, and then find out now their record as defenders, the number of goals they have scored, how many caps they have won as well. Mohamed Salah has won less caps this season with his team Liverpool, and also Osimhen, he has won less caps. He's done a couple of hat-tricks, he's helped his team, but in terms of goals coming from a defender, right, who literally is supposed to be playing at the back, then Hakimi stands out. Now, if you are to rate all of them as strikers again, then you need to put everybody as striker. You put Hakimi as a striker, you put Salah as a striker, and Osimhen, then you can rate them at that level. But a defender, a good coach will tell you that all his players should score goals. But we know that there are people whose role is just that. The assists that he has given as well, it's a phenomenal number as well. Right. And then just the goals that he has scored as well. And then the trophy haul. Apart from winning the league and then winning the European Champions League as well, and then the Coupe du Monde, it makes him a special player for that. And I feel that he merited it. We're rarely seeing the praises of defenders and goalkeepers. And that is why there's the categorization of the awards. But then when one is a standout, and he has done just as much, if not more, than the strikers whose job it is up front there, it deserves that kind of award.
Shades of Fabio Cannavaro winning the Ballon d'Or there.
Absolutely.
Let me bring in Onyinyechi Ogu Obaro, who is an African sports expert joining us from Lagos, Nigeria. Onyinyechi, thank you for joining us once again. Let's talk about Nigeria. 2 Nigerians were in contention for the top awards. Did CAF's awards voting panel get it right by choosing the winners?
I would say, from a journalistic point of view, thank you, Mahir, I would say that the voting panel were able to consider some variables, important things before they made their decision, looking at the year under review, which is January 6 to October 15, 2025. Yes, there might be debates, a lot of debates coming up from those who picked their award at the end of the day, but an award of this magnitude, the CAF Awards, you want to consider some performances, consistency, impact, and the influence of these players for club and country. When you look at a player who picked up the UEFA Champions League trophy, the Ligue 1 trophy, the Super Cup, and you see him help his country win the 2026 tickets to the World Cup and also the African Cup of Nations, not forgetting that he also clinched the Mac Vivian Foe Award, you know that he is a worthy winner of the Men's Player of the Year. Then also look at the goalkeeper, who is up for nomination for the Save of the Month for Brighton and Hove Albion. She also clinched the Women's African Cup of Nations title, a 10th title for Nigeria. She had a stellar performance for the team heading up to the qualifiers and also at the main competition. She is nominated for the FIFA Best Goalkeeper of the Year and also a Ballon d'Or nominee. You should know that that's a worthy winner of the goalkeeper, Women's Goalkeeper of the Year in the person of Chiamaka Nnadozie. So when you look at all these, think of the numbers, think of the timeliness, the year under review, and also think of the competitive ways of the matches that these winners won. The finalists won or even played, then you know that CAF really got it right with the numbers and names of winners that they reeled out on Wednesday for the CAF Awards in Morocco.
Right, and speaking of the nominees, Super Falcons forward Esther Okoronkwo didn't make the three-woman shortlist despite her exploits at the Women's Nations Cup as well as the Canadian Women's Soccer League, where she had 28 goals and won the NSL 2025 Shield. How did she miss out on the top award there?
I'm also surprised. Her miss is a big surprise, but a big surprise on the surface, because if you look deep, yes, a player has got up to 28 goals, and then clinching the Canadian NSL title. She also clinched the Shield title. She won the Women's African Cup of Nations title for Nigeria, the 10th title. Yes, brilliant performance, excellent performance from Esther Okoronkwo, but you have to look deep at the criteria at which CAF and the voting panel were able to come up with their final shortlist for the women's category. A lot will not be happy. They are already making reservations on social media about her miss when the final three came out. But let's look at two criteria that the voting panel would have considered in order to make the final shortlist. Yes, CAF always consider and will give weight to top leagues, top domestic leagues, and also major international competition that will count for any player who makes the final shortlist. The Canadian NSL is seen as a developing league. It might not be weighed the same way with the top European leagues where Ajibade plays for Paris Saint-Germain, or North African leagues where we saw the two Moroccans who plied their trade there in the domestic leagues. So all this might not look enticing. All what Esther achieved might not look enticing because the Canadian League is seen as a developing league. Another criteria we should look at, CAF would always put more weight on continental visibility. I say continental visibility because if you look at the players like Ghizlane Chebbak and also Fatima Tagnautu, who plied their trade in the CAF Women's Champions League, you see them in the Nations qualifiers, Nation Cup qualifiers, and also a strong domestic league. You would not want to say that a Canadian league would have African viewership. These leagues and competitions where Ghizlane and Tagnautu, they plied their trade, they've got African visualship. And you can see for sure that it's all about continental visibility. So it's not like Esther was not good enough. It's because there are some variables that they considered. One, exposure, league strength, and continental visibility. All these would tip the scale and put the three who were final shortlist in favor of the CAF voting panel. So it was not that Esther was not good enough. It's just these were considered. These three factors were considered in order to make the final shortlist. All
right, Onyinyechi and Bernard, do stay with us. We're going to continue this conversation shortly. Both Achraf Hakimi and Ghizlane Chebbak of Morocco were the two winners, as we've been hearing, of the CAF African Player of the Year, men and women respectively. Here are their achievements that led to them winning the awards.